Located in the heart of Tuscany, nestled on rolling hills between the cities of Florence and Siena, lies the medieval town of San Gimignano. Surrounded by stone walls that were built in the 13th century, the town is dominated by a skyline of medieval towers. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, San Gimignano is an important agriculture area, well known for its production of saffron and Vernaccia wine. Back in the 1950s, Amico, Bernardo, and Umberto Fioroni came to this bountiful region of Italy looking for work as sharecroppers. It was the brothers' dream to escape their home in Marche and its harsh working conditions to find a new home where they would plant roots for future generations of their family to grow. This is Fattoria Poggio Alloro, a family farm in Tuscany. Set beneath the medieval town of San Gimignano, far away from Italy's bustling cities, Fattoria Poggio Alloro is a magical piece of Tuscany. Home to the Fioronis for 70 years, the family still practices a simple way of life, where time spent with family and friends always comes first.
Davvero? No, questa è andata male.
A year-round destination, guests travel from all over the world to taste Tuscany's unique, authentic flavors. And nowhere are they more delicious than here at Fattoria Poggio Alloro, where everything produced is all natural and 100% organic. Chef and sommelier Sarah Fioroni, daughter of Amico and his wife Rosa, grew up on the farm and currently oversees its day-to-day operations.
Tania, buongiorno! Come va oggi? Tutto bene, bene. Sorry, Vernaccia, we'll move you to the desk. Since my family arrived here, we had 5 generations living in this farm. My grandparents, they were here with my parents when everything started, so they were the really first generation here. My father and his 2 brothers, and their wife, of course, they were the 2nd generation. I'm the youngest of the 3rd generation, and we do have the 4th generation already working full-time in the farm. And one of them is Marco, and has a beautiful baby girl, Anna, and she's the 5th generation here in this place.
Ci metti il pezzettino? Vai. Perfetto.
When my family purchased this place, it was only 50 acres, and nowadays we have 300 acres of vineyard, olive trees, grain, saffron, fruits, vegetables. We also have the Chianina cows, the pigs, rabbits, chicken, 17 different types of wines, extra virgin olive oil, and even the bees for the honey production. We are almost 100% self-sufficient.
No.
Umberto, the eldest of the Fioroni brothers, passed away back in 2016. But Bernardo and Amico are still keeping the farm running strong. Rain or shine, Amico can be found working the fields or tending to his garden, l'orto di Amico, where he spends countless hours cultivating his prized organic produce.
Romana bionda, Romana mia, Romana in fiore.
I love to think about Amico's garden, l'orto di Amico, as Amico's kingdom. So that's his favorite place in the farm. That's the place where he loves to spend most of his time away from everyone. I think it's not just about the passing of the time, the slow movement, the art that he used doing that, but the real satisfaction is providing all this wonderful, amazing fresh food to the family and the guest.
Di questo lavoro mi piace molte cose. Mi piace gli animali, mi piace accudire, lavorare nell'orto, lavorare in tutte le verdure che ci possono essere.
While Amico spends much of his day working in the garden, Bernardo can often be found pruning the farm's olive trees or working in the barn with his Chianina cows.
This is my Uncle Bernardo, 82 years old. He's taking care of the cow every single day. He loves all of them. He even named them with typical cow's name like Moon, Daisy, Trouble, if they're a troublemaker. Zio, come le chiami queste mucche? Come si chiamano?
Diana, Doria, Donnola, Luna, Lina.
There are also some ladies' names around.
Lucrezia, Marta, Mora.
This is all our little baby of Chianina cows. How cute they are. When they're born, they're totally brown, light brown, and when they grow up around their second or third month of life, their hair will change and they become from brown to white. White is the typical color of the Chianina cows.
Come on, bud. Hi.
Fattoria Poggio Alloro may be located in the heart of Tuscany, but you'll also find a little piece of Texas here too. Sarah's husband, Russ.
Even if we are a real Italian family, we have a very strong American presence here. It's my husband, the Texano. When Russell first arrived, it wasn't very easy. My father is from a different time of the history, born in 1935, and Russ is full of tattoos, smoking cigarettes, so my father wasn't really happy.
Oh, mamma mia, un americano.
They call him Animale or many other names that I cannot repeat.
When I showed up here 10 years ago, Amico wasn't the greatest fan of mine, but the language barrier and the style barrier, it actually ended up being okay because we have a lot of similarities. So I think that we become not only great friends, but sorry to say, almost best friends, so. Oh, noi sono amici, no? Sono amici noi.
Molto amici. Amici per la pelle.
Oh, bravo. I was worried for a second. I asked him for friends and he said, of course, lots of friends. We're friends of the skin. Bong, bong, bong. Senta.
Ma.
Tell you a little bit about Amico. When he works, it's not only just making money, it's also making moments and memories and stories, because it's all about food. Everything he does is basically food related. In tua vita, che c'è più importante di più o meno e qualità di cibo?
Bisogna lavorare, vedrai qui chi me lo fa sto lavoro?
I asked him, in your life, what's more important than the quality of food? And he said, work. Who's going to do this work? Look at me, I'm working. So he loves work and food. Ma io ho detto è cibo, non è lavoro. Come è importante la qualità del cibo, eh?
Dal lavoro viene il cibo, caro mio.
Hai capito? He says, with the work, that's how you make the food.
Se non si lavora,
If you don't work,
il cibo non arriva.
the food doesn't come.
Tuscany has long inspired travelers to come and explore its rich culture, especially the cities of Florence and Siena, where medieval architecture and important works of art are major attractions. Tuscany's historic landmarks aren't the only draw. Agricultural tourism now plays an important role. Today, visitors are venturing beyond the city gates for an authentic taste of Tuscany's food and wine culture. And there's no better place to find it than Fattoria Poggio Alloro.
This is my cousin Renzo, one of the most popular guy in the farm. Everybody knows him and he's ready to gathering all our guests. The Agritourism concept started in Italy back in the 90s, and that was all about to help the farmers. So to transform what they had unused, like barn or other building, transform it into rooms or restaurant, and to offer to the guests a full experience into a real working farm. At the beginning, back in the 90s, I believe people really took advantage of the whole concept of Agritourism. So they were coming, staying more time in the farm, and not being so in rush to visit everything in a few days. Nowadays, everything goes a little bit more faster, so people still really appreciate the life in the farm, but it's not like it used to be before. They don't take part of the harvest, they don't take part of the whole agriculture. They definitely like the romance, but not the work.
Poggio Alloro is a family-run farm, but it also takes a whole support crew to keep it going 7 days a week. In the butchery, 77-year-old Giannini, who's been butchering since he was 15 years old, supplies the kitchen, where Gaina and Ramba are preparing the farm's seasonal favorites.
Our staff in the kitchen is amazing. They work so hard, making delicious sauce for the pasta, using all the fresh ingredients from the farm, and it's a non-stopping work from the morning to the evening. Her name is Donatina, but we call her Ramba. That is the female name for Rambo, because she's strong like Rambo. So a typical lunch and dinner at the farm is a real experience. You got to taste everything that is coming fresh from the farm and daily. I like to think about our concept more than farm to table, a table in the farm. In fact, our table, they are right in the middle of the farm where everything grows around. It's been our tradition since the 91 when we opened the Agriturismo to serve dinner in long table family style. And since that moment, everybody loved and embraced this concept. So they love to see all together, meet new people, making new friendships. And I have to say that after over 35 years, we still have people that became friends at the farm. They're still coming back in vacation, or they send us letters or postcards about those friendships that started at the farm.
Compliments, guarda. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fresh pasta with homemade meat sauce, pork tenderloin, succulent roast chicken, grilled ribs with pork sausage, and the famed Florentine T-bone steak. All big favorites, served family style with lots of wine.
Tu fa l'americano, americano, ma se nato in Italia, senta me chi tu fa, tu fa l'America, tu fa l'America.
I think in the garden of Miko's pride and joy is probably going to be the tomatoes. He loves them. And they don't last long, you know, like 3 or 4 months and you're done. From planting to making all the conserva is like the tomato sauce we use in the winter, but definitely it's tomatoes. Well, welcome to our greenhouse. First of all, we have probably, I would say, 10 different types of tomatoes in here. Canestrino, we have Ottima, we have Brutti e Boni, we have F1, we have Piccadilly, we have little ones and big ones. And I am from Texas, so I do have one jalapeno. These tomatoes are a type of tomato that are not artisanal, but heirloom, I believe. And these are types that you will not find in a normal grocery store because they're not considered perfect. They have too many lines, too many dents, too many something. But to us, that is the sign of perfection. You know, doing this kind of work to me is very therapeutic. I mean, it's productive in a couple of ways. I mean, just doing the same movement over and over, you obviously get better and you don't think about anything but what you have to do. So there's no more problems in my life when I'm doing, you know, this kind of work.
When we bottle the tomato, we throw some salt and some basil and tomato for the flavor. After we put it in the jar or the bottle, we are going to boil this for 30 minutes. Then we will let it rest in the water and cool it down, and this will create the vacuum to keep the tomato for a longer time. My favorite recipe in the winter time when we miss all these fresh ingredients from the garden is, for example, the beef sauce for the pasta, because we have those amazing tomato bottles that we use for our ragu, and so we can use it for the pasta anytime we want it. I know exactly what is the secret for a great ragu, like the beef sauce. It is all the fresh ingredients. They're all important at the same time. Extra virgin olive oil. Don't be afraid, this is really healthy. You need a lot of extra virgin olive oil. Nice fresh vegetable like carrots, onions, celery, and garlic. And of course the beef. That's the time to add the Chianti. And what about the tomato? It has to be fresh tomato or bottled tomato of a good quality. Otherwise, you don't have a good sauce. The other real secret to make a very good ragu is the time. You need to have time. You cannot make a good ragu sauce in 30 minutes. You need at least 3 or 4 hours, a boiling process, and that's the only way you can have a great ragu sauce. The main difference for me about in between organic products or products that you find often in the grocery store or in this big market is the fact that an organic product is never perfect. In the skin or in the color, it's never perfect because that's nature. So it might have a little bite from a bug or from a bird, and that means that it's totally good and it's totally healthy. Otherwise, when it's too shining, too perfect, too colorful, sometimes it's not a good sign of the quality of that product.
You know, I think that maybe one of the reasons that our vegetables are a little bit bigger or look a little bit more beautiful than something you may find in your grocery store isn't because of the more products we put on it, more nutrients, more anything. I think it's just that we're able to calmly and slowly take our time and get the best products off each plant one at a time. We don't have to spray with hormones to get everything ready at the same time in order to ship it out to the big stores or anything. It's really just patience, and we don't have to do 1,000 at a time. We can do just 5 or 6. So being able to pick and choose and only the best is probably one of my favorite parts about being an ortolano.
Since everything at the farm is grown 100% organic, no pesticides allowed, Amico's always keeping an eye out for pesky insects, especially his main enemy, the stinky bug. Bugs can damage fruits and vegetables, but it's not always a bad sign. That's because if they're willing to take a bite, it's safe for us to eat too.
Vedi, questo pomodoro è bellissimo, però se noi lo giriamo, lui ha avuto una puntura di una cimice e ha provocato questo. Però se lo tagliamo a metà, la parte sotto è buona da mangiare.
The only time Amico worries about bugs is if they attack the roots of his precious vegetables.
Gli insetti non fanno tanto danno, però c'è un fatto molto importante: quando attacca la radice, che viene recisa in questo punto, la piantina è costretta a morire. Boh.
One insect that's always welcome on the farm is the honeybee. The farm's beekeeper, Piero Salvestrini, and Amico have been friends since the family first arrived back in 1955. Because the bees are so comfortable with him, Piero doesn't feel the need to wear any protection. Russ, on the other hand, probably should.
One stung me right here, boop, right in the forehead. Si pensa ancora? Anche a me è bella fortuna.
No.
Sì, guarda. Vai.
The family have great love and respect for all their animals, especially Luigi and Cappuccino.
Louis,
Anyone that's visited the farm will likely have seen these two Jack Russell Terriers roaming around.
And here we go, Marta. Hey,
Capo.
And here we go.
And the
Dolly
bubble. Come on,
and
Filippo. Oh, mamina.
We always had a huge respect for animals in the farm because it means also life for us. Hey, Jon Snow, how are you doing? Everything that we've been raising in the farm, it gives food to the rest of the family. And there was always no waste of these products, only consuming and using when it was really necessary, never overproducing. Bravo, Luciano. Every other winter, for how I can remember that we were butchering, it was a holiday for us because that means we could have meat for the rest of the year and it was a guarantee that we were going to survive. That is incredible to say that nowadays, but I remember it was like that when we were little. No, ma ora che ci si fa con questo vino avanzato? We don't waste anything at the farm.
Ma facciamo un brindisi.
Facciamo un brindisi and make a toast. So, Babbo, vieni.
Amico, si fa un
Vieni.
brindisi.
Un po' di vino rosso fa sempre bene. A glass of red wine a day, keep the doctor away. Un bicchiere di vino rosso al giorno, leva il medico di torno. Salute alla nostra.
Salute, salute, salute. È bella e buona. Eccola qua, guarda.
Amico has been a butcher, or as we say in Italian, norcino, that is the one that make ham and salami for all his life. He learned since he was little, and I think he got the point where it's almost perfect now. It's like he make his salami and prosciutto and they are the end of the world. And of course, he keeps his recipe very, very secret, even if they're actually printed on the wall. But I believe it's impossible, even if you have it, write it down, to reciprocate the same things it does. You need the hands of the expert.
We give a little bit of life and a little bit of respect to every salami, even every slice. The way we appreciate something that's handmade from a friend, it makes it better. You know, when you go to someone's house and they made like pancakes or whatever it is from scratch, it's better than from a box. So when we do something all from scratch all the time, we want to put in the best, and we're just trying to give the best to all our friends. The only way that we know to show our love without telling you we love you is to give you a wonderful product, and that means food, wine, a hug, maybe a kiss. You never know what you may get in Tuscany.
One of the largest breeds of cattle in the world, the Chianina, used to be a working cow that plowed Tuscany's rugged terrain. That is, until tractors replaced them. Today, the Chianina is used for meat production. Their massive T-bone steaks, locally known as bistecca alla Fiorentina, are the star attraction on any Tuscan menu.
Saturday night is our special night when we cook our bistecca alla Fiorentina from our Chianina cattle.
La bistecca è bella, la bistecca è bella.
What is special about our steak is not just the quality of the beef, but also the way we are cooking. This is the real Fiorentina T-bone steak. In fact, you can notice the T-bone right here, the fillet part, and this is called controfiletto in Italian, and at least 7 centimeter wide, and it will be cooked 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other side, and at least 7-8 minutes on the bone. So the whole bone part can heat up, can warm up the thicker part inside, and the steak will be cooked in the perfect way. Don't come at the farm and ask for a well-done steak because we are not able to do it. The Fiorentina T-bone steak is always cooked rare for a reason. The meat is not tender, so we don't have to overcook, otherwise it loses all the liquids and the meat became very tough.
Poggio Alloro produces many fresh organic foods, But one product they don't make is bread. For that, they call on Marco, the local baker.
Panaio! Marco Panaio è un po' mattacchione, però è simpatico e beve tanto vino, molto più di me.
Alla solita.
Alla solita.
Marco the baker has been in all our lives since I remember, and is definitely the life of the party. It's the one that get the community all together, and I think he feed with his schiacciata, with his focaccia, all the children of the neighbors, including me, you know. When you see his truck, white truck coming, all the kids are running behind him because they know there will be a piece of warm schiacciata or bread delivered. And he always has a smile on his face. He's a real working hard person, and he's like a member of the family. I really think he's part of our family. So Marco the baker and Renzo, they have been friends forever. They love to drink together. In fact, the wife often calls in the farm to check where Marco is, and we are hiding him. Some of my favorite summer recipes are definitely the bruschetta with tomato or the bread panzanella. All this recipe has the Tuscan bread and the fresh tomato from my father's garden, so they're perfect, refreshing and filling.
Ma quanti anni te fai questo lavoro?
Sono circa 44 o 45 anni.
I ask him how many years he's done this work. He says 40, 45 years. Ma ti piace, sì?
L'ho sempre fatto.
He always did this. He doesn't know anything else.
Sempre fatto.
Ma la parte più bella del tuo lavoro è tempo
Andare in
libero.
giro e fare bicchieri.
Io ho pensato. I say the best part of your work, he says, is driving around, maybe dealing with the people and having a glass of wine with people. Già fai come sempre?
No,
sempre.
Ah,
sì.
music.
Yeah!
Music.
Musica.
The grape harvest in the farm is always around September. It depends on the weather, but it's always that month. And it brings also a part of the family all together down in the vineyard when we can harvest and laugh and collect all the grapes, bring the grapes back in the winery, squeeze the grapes and create this amazing juice that will become soon wine. We do have all the fermentation process and then the aging process and finally the bottling. And it's always a work of art and a work of love.
Keeping everything in the family, Marco Fioroni is the farm's winemaker. Following in the footsteps of generations before him, he oversees Poggio Alloro's wine production.
La mia famiglia mi ha trasmesso la passione per questo lavoro e per questo mondo. Infatti ho deciso poi di frequentare l'Istituto Tecnico Agrario di Siena per specializzarmi e una volta finito quello ho deciso di tornare qua in azienda a portare avanti il lavoro che aveva iniziato mio nonno negli anni 50.
Weather plays a critical role during the growing season. Too much rain or drought conditions will greatly affect the quality of a farm's harvest.
Avere un apparato radicale nella pianta ben sviluppato è importantissimo, ma la cosa più importante che ha bisogno la pianta sono delle foglie verdi e sane, perché queste fotosintetizzeranno e permetteranno alla pianta di trasformare la linfa che tira con le radici in energia per il grappolo. Ok, adesso quando il carrello sarà pieno andrà in cantina. Hard work, but I love it. Tramite questi tubi il pinot nero che abbiamo raccolto in vigna viene messo dentro alla vasca e quando la vasca sarà piena verrà fatta partire la fermentazione. La fermentazione durerà all'incirca 5-6 giorni a 30 gradi. Da una vasca così di 44 ettolitri riusciamo a produrre all'incirca 6.000 bottiglie.
This is Vernaccia grape. It is a varietal that we use here in San Gimignano to make the Vernaccia di San Gimignano. Can only be produced to make wine here in this area of Tuscany. It is a delicious grape that makes a wonderful white wine, and it is actually one of my favorites. And I can't wait to actually have this in the bottle.
The secret to make a good wine is definitely love and passion for what you're doing and attention to the little details. So you have to love and really check every single month what's going on in the vineyard and put the right attention on the grapes on every vineyard that you have in your property, the exposure of the sun or the weather that it has, and also when you bring the products in the wine cellar and you start to make the process. You have to be always careful about the recipe you are doing and the whole fermentation process, the temperature, and all the ingredients that you are using to make the wine to make a perfect product at the end of the year.
In questa vigna in particolare produciamo 3 tipologie di vino, un Pinot Nero in purezza, poi produciamo uno spumante metodo classico e poi il vino a cui sono più affezionato, che è uno spumante rosato che ho dedicato a mia figlia. Sì, allora la speranza è quella che anche mia figlia possa seguire le mie orme e un giorno venire qua a lavorare in azienda. Per me sarebbe la cosa più bella del mondo, sì.
We love to use the wine for our recipe. It gives a great flavor. Mixed with the olive oil and all the spices, it makes a very nice creamy sauce at the end that you can put it on your dishes. And if you think about it, it evaporates, so it leaves the good flavor and is an amazing ingredient. It gives you also the liquid to cook better the meat, so it's one of the ingredients we cannot miss in the farm. Plus, we are a winery, so we can use as much as we want it. I have 2 favorite pork recipes. One is called pork loin arista di maiale, and it's cooked with the white wine, rosemary, sage, and garlic, and it's so good and so typical, and it's been in Tuscany forever, basically. It's a very old recipe. And the other one is a little bit newer in our kitchen. That is a Chianti pork fillet. I love because it's the part of the fillet of the pork cooked in red wine that make a delicious sauce.
We start our day, it isn't the earliest, it's not a milk farm, but we still start pretty early. The work is pretty constant, but it still has a joy to it to where you're not so stressed out. When you feel something needs to be done and you take a pride in it, then you know it has to be done, and let's take care of it. Boom, baby. You know, there are some days that it is so hot and so dry that you don't even know what to do with yourself. And other days it's so rainy and so wet that you just try to relax and find work to do. But no matter what you're doing, the work is heavy and hard, but you're always treated well later. So whether you're digging holes like a dog or living like a king, pretty soon you'll be back to digging holes like a dog. One of my favorite parts of probably being here in Italy is that Rosina, or Mama Rosa, the Mama Sara, is now I guess my grandma. And when I go up there and eat every day, it's these flavors that I'd never had a chance to try. And it is just a special dish one day after the next. She always usually makes a pasta and a second, so like a first course, second course. She's the best cook on the farm by far.
Mangiate la pasta con il ragù fatto di carne chianina. Che no,
Se vuole, sì. But today we're having for lunch a rice salad with all, I guess, homegrown vegetables and eggs and things. Some fresh made pasta that was made this morning with the fresh chianina ragu. This is the asparagus that we just picked maybe 20, 30 minutes ago, maybe 45. We boiled it and put it in there. We have some prosciutto, salami, caprajolo, and some pecorino, and some sale e rosmarino. Povera Rosina, mammina, guarda.
Salute.
Grazie Rosina per pranzo. È buonissimo sempre, come sempre. Oh, look at this thing. Guarda. Ma dove hai trovato?
Nel bosco.
Sì, beh, il bosco vicino a casa tua. Ma che? Guarda.
Duetto.
200 grams. Quando trovate? Ieri? Sì. He found yesterday a black truffle. Bello, eh? What we're going to do with this is we're going to brush it a little bit and clean it, and then we're going to take it and we're going to slice it really, really thin with a little instrument, and then put a little bit of butter in a pan, and then put a fresh, probably tagliatelle, a fresh pasta, and put it just condito, just conditioned with truffle and butter. Buono, eh? Davvero? Sì.
One of the most asked questions is how we get along with the family member, working so close all day long, all together, 15 members of the family. I think my only answer is that we can get along because we don't have any more energy to fight. All we want at the end of the day is to sit, enjoy a nice meal with a great glass of wine. The work at the farm is never done, but sometimes we need a break, otherwise we go crazy. So I take a few hours off and I go to Florence to visit my best friends. When we get together, we love to get a glass of wine, walk around, maybe a little shopping, and definitely enjoy some nice food. One delicacy that we really love is the trippa alla fiorentina. It's a very famous dish here in Tuscany, and is stewed cow stomach with the salsa into a panino bread. And when the evening arrives in Florence, we all love to have dinner at our friend Shannon restaurant, Osteria dell'Enoteca, where we can taste some typical Tuscan food.
Salute!
If I get time off by myself, I like to go maybe have a nice lunch or maybe a dinner if possible with friends. So we'll get together 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 guys all together and have a nice lunch or a nice dinner that lasts 3, maybe 4 hours. And it's just an experience that I love. Sometimes when we have lunches here, money's not even discussed. Oui, no. It's just a question that nobody wants to ask themselves, is who is going to pay and what piece is mine. It's almost a little bit of something like, I want to pay for you. So when everybody wants to pay for each other, it ends up being that everyone just pays the same. It doesn't matter what you order. Everybody you just split it a little, and that's it. So it's a conversation that is not want to be had at the table, is the bill.
As autumn begins to set in, the farm and surrounding hills take on a completely different appearance. The vineyard's deep green colors turn shades of red and gold.
November is a very busy month for us. It's the time for the olives harvest.
È bello però cogli l'oliva a mano, così dall'alto, piano.
Every day we go from the morning until about 6 because it starts to be dark. The same days to the frantoio, that is the mill to make the pressing of the olives. And you go there, you wait for your olive to be pressed, and you got the amazing extra virgin olive oil, and you bring it back home. The first juice coming out of the olives, that's the first and the best one. Extra virgin olive oil. All the nutrition, the best color, and the quality is right there.
It's a nice, bright yellow, almost a green. That's the color you want to see. Not a transparent, not a white, not a clear, but a perfect yellow gold. It almost looks like it's full of saffron. And that's what you want. And the flavor should be A nice peppery, almost like grassy, natural flavor.
To pick a very good extra virgin olive oil, it's very important to read the whole front label and back label. Here we will find all the information. Take a look. Olio extravergine di oliva, that means extra virgin olive oil. Biologico, that means organic in Italian. And here on the back label, you can find the organic certification. This is the same for all the European community. And up here, you can find many more information about how the olive oil is produced, all the nutrition, and the expiry date. When you pick your extra virgin olive oil, make sure in the label it's reported that it's cold pressed. That means that not hot temperature will be used for the extraction of the extra virgin olive oil. In this way, all the nutrition, the color, and the flavor will be not compromised. A good extra virgin olive oil, organic, should last at least 18 months.
You've probably heard the expression, the early bird gets the worm. In Tuscany, the early farmer gets the mushroom. Sarah's cousin Giancarlo, son of Umberto, often starts his day foraging the woods for wild fungi. Caution, it's very important to know the difference between edible and poisonous mushrooms.
Allora, dopo che uno ha cercato, dopo un po' di esperienza, riesce a riconoscerli bene i funghi velenosi da quelli commestibili. Però alle prime armi è bene andare con uno che conosce il fungo e poi piano piano acquisti l'esperienza e sai quali sono buoni e quali non sono buoni. Questa è bellissima perché è tutta sana, non ha niente, è cresciuta stanotte. Questo che vedete qui è bellissimo come fungo, però è molto velenoso. Allora, questi qui è un altro tipo di funghi. Queste non sono rosselle, ma si chiamano qui in Toscana lardaioli, perché sono bianchi e molto probabilmente gli hanno dato il nome perché è come il lardo, è bianco. Sono buoni, sono anche profumati questi.
Fava beans, butchery. At Fattoria Poggio Alloro, we have a lot of different products, and that helps us, whether there's bad weather or good weather, do many, many different things. We always have something to do. That's the beautiful part of being a diversified farm.
November is also a very busy month for us because we don't only have the olive harvest, but we do have also the saffron harvest. Every year, the saffron harvest will be done the last few days of October and November. Usually the saffron harvest will last about 20 days. In these 20 days, we will start with very few flowers at the beginning, and then there will be a total explosion in the fields of this beautiful purple flower. So to make the saffron that we make every year at the farm, we can reach almost 1 kilogram of saffron. That is a lot more than this one, of course. And for 1 kilogram or a little less than 1 kilogram, we need to plant every year about 20,000 bulbs of saffron. Saffron nowadays is mainly used in the recipe to cook many delicious dishes, but in the past it was used for many other things, to color the fabrics, for example, to exchange and do trades for goods, and as a medicine for the liver, and also to color the frescoes. Bombo bees! Questo è il bombo bees, sì. Ci sta domattina, se ne veda un po' di più. Sono fantastici, si rotolano proprio dentro il fiore, sono ubriachi. Sono fantastici. After we have been in the fields with all our family members and the staff, we brought all the flour here next to the fireplace so it's more warm, so we can chat a little. And this is usually a girl work because we have more delicate hands, so we are more able to open the flour and get the saffron out of the flower. So what we are doing is take each flower at the time, like this, and open the petal a little, and get the 3 stamens out of the flower, and that will be the saffron. Per pranzo?
Nulla. Sono qui, diglielo, Moretta.
Che ha fatto?
Lei guarda il zafferano,
Chi è più brava e chi è più bella?
Aspetta, ora gli devo spiegare una cosa in inglese, mamma. After we finish to pick all our saffron from the flower, we put it on a little basket next to the fireplace for the drying process. The saffron at that point will dry for 2 days, and we'll lose the 80% of the water and the 80% of the weight. So basically what you have last in your hand is nothing, and it's a lot of work to make this, but once you have done, that's the moment to relax next to the fireplace, and it's time for merenda. Merenda is always a break that we have in the middle of the afternoon, and that can be good to cook some chestnuts during November or have a glass of wine, anything that can bring the family together.
My favorite part of farm life is being in touch with the earth, seeing the seasons, and really becoming more aware to the smallest change in things. So it's kind of like a little gift or surprise every day. And that's what makes me wake up in the morning. You know, that little bit of what's going on today and what can I really help bring to the table. Because if you think about what we do here, it's all about food. Boom. Beautiful. Everything we do is brought to the table sooner or later.
Buon appetito.
Sometimes I think that the harder I work, the happier I am. The more energy I put out there is almost the more energy I get back. When I'm tired and I go home, for some reason I feel almost better than a day that I didn't do anything. So I'm ready to help anyone in any way I can. And this body is built for moving things. So, you know, luckily I'm a little bit large for an Italian. So that's definitely a help having a bulldozer around.
Ma per condurre una vita sana bisogna mangiare prodotti di qualità genuina, biologica. È molto importante lavorare, ma soprattutto tenere il cervello sempre impegnato per i lavori. Cioè, anche quando si dorme bisogna pensare: domani bisogna piantare insalata, pomodori. Il cervello deve essere sempre impegnato.
Sono tanto orgoglioso di tutto quello che abbiamo fatto noi fratelli Fioroni, compreso i nostri figli. E sono orgoglioso perché sono venuto da una famiglia povera. Io dalla miseria che ho avuto avevo in possesso così mi sembra di toccare le punte delle dita il cielo.
Some of the best things about this place are the people, the nature, the style, the culture. There are things here that have taken 1,000 years, it seems like to me, to come to everyday use. The style of things has been really kind of an eye-opening experience. So I love living in a European country. Italy for me has been a place that I have found a lot of peace. Any advice I had to give to anybody about moving to Italy would be maybe to try to understand the language first. It's the one thing that took me a while to learn, or not only to learn, but to feel comfortable communicating with people. The second thing is be careful what you wish for, because you never know what you may fall into. I am now second in command of a giant garden, as well as too many things to even name off. And it's a beautiful life, full of experiences and laughter and fun and great food and good friends and always meeting new people. But sometimes there are times when there's so much to do, you do feel a little bit overwhelmed. But I think that's absolutely normal when you care about something. In the farm life, that's what you do, is you care and you feel like it needs to be done now. Whatever it ends up being, it's always the right time to start doing it.
Moda, mas baby, whiskey and soda. I always describe the history of my family like a poor farmer because that's what they were. But I don't like to use this word anymore. We are really lucky and blessed that we are able to enjoy what our parents give it to us and appreciate it. And we are definitely rich inside. Living the life in the farm exposed me from a young age to the circle of life. And definitely be a part of that, observing all the changing in the farm of the season, the nature that was changing, the animal that comes and go, the members of the family that comes and go. It really puts you in the right perspective about how life should be and how things should go. I really hope I will be able to share with my children what I learned from my parents. And it's all about the simplicity, the love for the life we're living, the appreciation for the little things. And this is all I learned from my parents that I really hope to pass in the future generation.
It's been 70 years since the Fioroni brothers first came to settle in Tuscany. Over the decades, they've remained true to their roots. I once asked what the secret is to their happiness. The answer, good food, good wine, but most of all time spent with family and friends. On behalf of all your friends from around the world who've enjoyed the Fioroni family's hospitality, thank you for sharing your little piece of paradise. And buon compleanno, amico. Happy 90th birthday. Salute.